Now.
On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 7:36. It's O'Connor and Julie.
I'm the company
with Julie Gundlach this morning, and we are happy warriors. I'll tell you that because, well, we've got a fight ahead of us, and we're going to follow the lead of the President of the United States. In fact, to that end, Joe Biden, after his debate, remember he did that rally. He goes, I proved that I can get knocked down, but then I get back up again. He didn't get knocked down. He fell flat on his face. Donald Trump got knocked down by a bullet.
Yes.
And he didn't get back up again, 3 days later when his advisors. No, he got back up moments later and showed all of us the kind of
Can I tell you, I would be milking this for a year.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I got to go on vacation.
Coming up at 8:05, Rob O'Donnell, former NYPD, worked with presidential security details. We'll get his assessment of what happened. 8:15, Selena Zito, the reporter who not only was on the front row but had an exclusive interview with the president right afterwards. 8:35, Representative Michael Waltz from Milwaukee. Well, he's from Florida, but he's in Milwaukee, and we'll talk about the convention and what he wants to do in terms of investigating the Secret Service. Joining us now from Milwaukee is Tommy Pigott. Now, he is the Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. And, boy, what a week to have a convention, Tommy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. It is. It's a week about coming together, about having a vision for strength for our country and a vision with the solutions that Americans want to see to the problems that they have.
Well, in that interview with Selena Zito that was just cited in our news report, and then we'll certainly talk with Selena about at the 8 o'clock hour, the president said that he's basically now thrown out the speech that he was going to deliver Thursday night, and he's going to craft something that is very different after his assassination attempt. I'm curious if that is also sort of going to animate or change messaging throughout the convention and many of the other speeches that we're going to see. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I think first and foremost, it means that we act through prayer first, prayer for the rally goer who lost his life, prayer for those that were injured, being grateful that President Trump is able to be in Milwaukee to address America from the convention, to have that plan put forward. I think looking at the comments he's made on Truth Social and other places since the assassination attempt, many Americans have been moved by his grace, his dignity, his call to unite America, which is really what we are trying to do, have a vision to unite America, come together and have that solution to these problems. So I think that'll be the motivating feature of this convention, a message of unity, a message of strength, a message of coming together to make sure that our best days are ahead of us. And that's exactly what I expect to see from the speakers here at the convention.
Nikki Haley has been asked to speak at the event. She was previously not invited, but an invitation went out to her. What do you expect from her, her speech, and what message do you think she'll send?
Well, I think first and foremost, it goes to that idea of unity, about coming together, about making sure that people join together to come together for this country, to make sure we have that vision for the country. Today's theme of the convention is making America wealthy once again. And what, in my mind, that speaks to is making sure that we have a country that works for working people. And that's a message that everyone can get behind, making sure that the American dream is alive and well, making sure that Americans have enough money at the end of the month, making sure that Americans can provide for their families and even go on vacation once in a while if they want to. It's about having an economy that helps all Americans where real wages are rising. And that's a message that all Americans can get behind. And again, goes to that idea of unity, making sure that we're coming together, have those solutions for the American people, that positive vision that says our best days are ahead of us, the best is yet to come. We're going to make America great again.
Speaking to RNC Strategic Communication Director Tommy Pigott. Tommy, communication is your thing. And because of what happened, not to be a little distasteful here, but because of what happened on Saturday, a lot more people are going to be tuning in. How are you going to convey the message to people who might never have tuned in, who might not have considered voting for Trump or even considering a Republican as someone they could back? How do you sort of introduce these people to the Republican Party, to Donald Trump, and to the vision that Trump has?
Well, I think first and foremost in talking about communication is just a recognition that oftentimes politics is secondary. Sometimes a lot of people that are in politics can forget that it's about helping the American people. But politics is secondary. We're going to be acting through prayer. We're going to be acting through unity. We're going to be acting through strength and love for our country. Those are going to be the motivating principles. and people that tune in will see those principles being conveyed. Those motivating ideas that will be behind this convention and behind the solutions that we present for the American people. I think Americans that maybe are being introduced to Trump for the first time, or maybe haven't really heard him speak directly or seen what he says directly, seeing how he's reacted to this assassination attempt on Truth Social with the Washington Examiner. There's one line, the Washington Examiner, that really stuck with me. He was asked why he got up and why he gestured to the crowd, why he gave those fist bumps. And he said, because I wanted to tell people that I was okay, that America is moving forward, and that America is strong. And that, to me, that reaction, that response, it showed such grace, such dignity. It's such a message of unity for America. And I think that's what people are going to see. That's what Americans want to see.
Yeah.
And that's what Americans tuning in will see.
One other question with regard to changes that may be taking place in Milwaukee. I've heard from several people who were in Milwaukee last week as things were starting to get set up. They were commenting on how tight they thought the security perimeter looked compared to what it was in Cleveland 8 years ago and even Tampa 12 years ago. Have there been changes made to the security perimeter in light of the assassination attempt on Saturday? And if so, what changes have those been?
Well, the convention team, the team that's been on the ground here for months, has been working diligently with dozens, if not more, law enforcement agencies to make sure that there's a coordinated effort to have that perimeter around the convention, to make sure we have those security measures in place. As our chair, Michael Whatley, said, we've been working very diligently to make sure that people that come to the convention here can feel safe. I don't want to get into necessarily specifics, but people that come to the convention can feel safe, make sure that they are able to come here again with love of country and have that message for the American people.
Is the RNC confident with the size of the Secret Service detail that has been assigned to this event? Have there been any challenges and requests for additional security that have been met with refusals from Secret Service?
I don't want to get into any specifics, but we've been working very diligently with law enforcement agencies on the ground here for many weeks leading up to this, and that continues now. That coordination and that effort is part of that security plan to really make sure we're able to put on a world-class convention here. And we're confident that people coming to this convention can feel safe coming to the convention, can feel safe taking part in it, and can feel safe in being part of this movement, coming together for love of country and unity and to make America great again.
One other thing, and this is kind of a stupid sort of question, but when we find out who the running mate is, you're going to have signs that say, Trump blank, right? Trump O'Connor, if it's me, for instance. Do you guys have like 8 different option signs already printed for the convention, and you'll just burn the ones that you don't use and use or do you have to like rush the print shop? How are you going to do this? We don't know who the running mate is.
Well, preparation is the name of the game. You do your best to prepare. One of the things about President Trump, though, is that he's the one making the decision, and we don't have insight into what that decision will be, but we do our best to prepare, read the tea leaves like anybody else. We'll see if those preparations come to use or not, but we do make sure we're prepared. And one of the
so you do have a bunch of signs that will not be used if that's is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'll say is we have a lot of different maybe products that we have prepared. And one of the great things about being Republican, I'll say this, one of the great things about being Republican is that we have so many great success stories to tell, and telling those success stories is part of our job at the RNC, Republicans around the country, and that feeds into who's going to be the vice president. We have those stories to tell. We have those successes around the country. That VP pick that President Trump's going to pick is going to be part of the movement to make America great again, a partner in that effort. So we're going to keep telling those success stories. And
so you'll be able to reuse those signs, but for a different purpose. All right. Very crafty. All right. Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
All right. You too. Have a good one.
I totally want one of those signs, which is the one that's like not going to get used. Right.
Yeah.
Like
collector's piece.
Of course. Like,
I also want Trump's shoes. Okay. I said it.
You want his shoes? He wants these. He is not letting go of those shoes.
To auction those.
It's 7:45 WMAL traffic and